Well, now, I was reading your webpage yesterday, and I read something that caught my attention. I don't know if it's true. I guess that it's true because it's in your webpage.
Of course, everything's true over there.
About the song Beautiful. Do you really record it naked?
Sure.
You were like...
You know, the thing is that Mikko was playing bass because we wanted to capture the song live. And 3 cellos were not enough, so we got an idea. Okay, Mikko, you play contrabass, double bass.
And I think it's simple because bass players, they are dumb monkeys anyway. So I thought if I'm gonna play bass, I started to drink immediately and took my clothes off. That's what bass players do. They
and
just...
after a couple of takes, the producer was like, guys, I think you should be all naked.
Yeah, it's not working like this.
It's not working like this. And we all took clothes on, off, and suddenly we got great takes.
And how was the energy?
Great, fantastic. Good vibration.
Awesome. And the
You know, it's always fun. You know, if somebody gets naked, it's always fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's really Finnish thing. I think, like our producer being American, he's kind of like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, yeah, and like, but for us, it's like a state of mind. It's nothing sexual. It's just having fun.
But I guess it's an interesting experience. Now, talking about the cover of this album, this great cello woman, who came with the idea? Who did that picture? It's an amazing piece of art.
The guy who did artwork for many of the albums, for Reflections, for Apocalyptica.
So you still keep
in the last album he was not involved, and this time we wanted to really focus on the artwork again and make it to look like we feel the album sounds like and what we feel Apocalyptica is, and we will continue the idea of the cello creature animal, what we had on the last album, and then the cello woman thing, what we had on Reflections. And
the same story actually continues on our videos. We have the same thing going throughout every field. The guy's Dirk Rudolph, who's been doing artwork for Rammstein as well, and he's really great.
You know, we wanted to create like a mood which is like a dark, dramatic, but still it has like aesthetics of beauty.
Yeah, it's like a really theatrical picture, and I mean some of the rockers from the 60s, from the 70s, when they start talking about his guitar, they talk about like they're girls, right? It's the same with you with the cellos. It's like, do you have a name of a girl?
They wouldn't treat the girls so bad. They're treating the cellos.
So no any relationship between that.
It would be an ugly, hairy girl if it's one of their cellos.
Of course, you sometimes think it's fun, especially live, to try to have a feeling. Finger, string. It's fun.
you know, when you, for example, when we used to play classical music more, it was all about playing. We played like hours and hours every day. Nowadays, when we are doing Apocalyptica, playing is maybe a couple of % of all time we spend on doing work, you know. It's all about traveling, you know, other stuff. And for live usage, we have different cellos than, you know, the real classical instruments. So we spend more time with those not so loved ones. But they stay home, you know. So
now, talking about Finnish music, music from Finland, 5 years ago here in Mexico it was like a big boom, like probably 8 bands, really big from Finland. Right now, you still with the same kind of crowd follow you probably more, and probably Tarja Turunen also. But there's all other bands that really are not that big that used to be 5 years ago here in Mexico. Why do you think that happened?
Like who bands?
Like To Die For, like The Rasmus, like Nightwish with the new singer, like Him, probably. Him is still really big, but not that much probably like 5 years ago. It's happened the same in Finland, or it's just here in Mexico that...
I think it happened a bit everywhere. You know, there's new bands coming. Maybe those bands you mentioned, maybe they just had the hangover of the super successful singles and albums. It's hard to say. It's impossible to say why, you know, fans are not following something. But most likely it comes to the music and how the new albums are, that people don't find them as great or as cool or not the same way or not new or fresh or whatever. You never know. But I think they were suffering a bit about the
everything goes in like waves, so for sure they're coming back. And I think like Children of Bottom, they are doing better all the time, and new bands coming in. So
Yeah. There's a lot of new action going on, and it's hard to say which bands are going to be the next ones. But in Finland, the musical scene is very active, and bands are very motivated to work a lot, to prepare their skills to be really on the right level, to be international and get abroad. I think the Erasmus, they're working on a new album, for example, now, and they just close the doors and just the band, 4 guys going to write songs, and I'm sure they will come up with something great.
Hopefully they're really nice. Talking the last question, I mean, I know that Mexico has been really important in your career. You have a lot of success here in Mexico, and you have played here so many times. But which one of all the concerts do you say, whoa, this one is still in my memory, really big, of the Mexican shows?
I would say that first time when we played in a National Auditorium.
Oh, yeah.
That was really something.
That was great. Also because many of the venues, they are seated, what we play nowadays here, and then the stadium show that was not seated, and that was the energy what came from the audience, that was just insane.
And you could feel the earth moving while people were chanting, and it's like, what's going on?
So it's really nice, and it's actually exciting to go back now to Metropolitan Theatre, which we remember very well the shows we played there in the past. It's a great venue, so we have very high expectations for the concert.
And also the National Auditorium, I mean, the place is just magical.
Yeah,
Right?
it's so big.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, but there were also cool memories, on the first tours we played, the smaller venues, and it's and that time it was very exotic for us, first trip to Mexico was kind of, wow, we were totally amazed, and we were so amazed about how Mexican fans, how they really loved Apocalyptica and how they are able to show it, it was just a big wave of love, we got when we came here, and that happens every time.
It's always truly a special thing to come in here, because I think the paradox that we have such a long distance in between us, but when we go to the hall together with the audience, there is no difference, and we share the same enthusiasm, passion towards powerful music, and that's just lovely.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for the time of this interview. It's an honor to talk with you. Congratulations, 7th Symphony, great album.
Thank you.
Oh, pues bueno, ya lo vieron, hermanos, desde Finlandia. Obviamente ustedes ya los conocen, una banda favorita de todo el público latinoamericano, Apocalyptica. Hermanos, esto ya se acabó. Hay que les sea leve, carnales. Chao.